Okay, Rabbi Sai, it's good? Okay. Welcome to another Tuesday night shiur. Alright, this week's parashat, does anyone know? Vayera. You know, I was preparing the shiur, I was going through this couple of mefarshim and I stumbled. There's so much information this week, and each story you can learn so many different things and different concepts and how to apply it to your day-to-day life. But with Siyata Deshmaya, Hashem gave me a one of the topics in this week's parasha that's not spoken about really intense. I like to take the topic that no one really talks about intense. They brought it up, but nothing crazy. But very briefly, let's go through the whole parasha very fast. Plishti, you're with me? I need to be focused.
I'm focused.
Okay. Hashem revealed himself. Avraham Avinu just got a brit milah. He was 99 years old. Imagine being 99 years old. He just got a brit milah very fast. And it was very hot. Hashem made a miracle. The Hama yatsa min nartika. And he made it that no one should come to bother Avraham Avinu. Avraham Avinu, nevertheless, while he's having prophecy and speaking to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, he sees three angels. And he decides to say to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, please excuse me, I have to take care of my guest. Which it on itself is a huge question, but we're not going to dwell on this question today because we just don't have time. He goes and he promises the guest, which he didn't know was angels. He said, don't worry, very small food, you don't have to worry, just come, everything is going to be okay. You're tired, take something to drink, something small. He convinced them, they said okay. He washed their feet first thing. Remember, key note, this is very important for this class. He made them wash their feet. Why did he wash their feet? Does anyone know?
Was he lady?
No. Ovdei avodah zarah. There's an idol that the people used to serve, and it was the afar, the dirt of the feet of the people. Why? The same way how the dirt of the feet doesn't mean anything. It's so low, but yet it's so high in their mind. That's how he will serve it. So the first thing he did was to make sure that they washed their feet. No avodah zarah. We don't do avodah zarah here. Okay? They come and they tell Avraham Avinu, listen, Avraham, you have a baby boy. And Refuah Shlema, and we're going to destroy Sodom. Avraham Avinu hears this all at one time. Okay, what can he do? Sarah Yemenu laughs over there. Boy, my husband just got a brit milah. He's 99. Kakoi boy, what's going on over here? What's going on? Okay, she laughed. The angels leave, and where do they head? To Sodom. This is also not our topic of the day, but still you have to know the whole picture of what's going on in this week's parsha. They go to the Sodom, and they go to destroy the whole town. They left, and now Avraham Avinu is traveling. And where does he travel? He goes to Eretz Pelishtim. He goes to the land of the Pelishtim, which this is going to be our main topic of the night. Very, very important. Until today, we, unfortunately, I have to say it this way, we are suffering from a crucial unity that Avraham Avinu made. Chas v'shalom for a person to say Avraham Avinu made a mistake. That's why I did not say that, and I will never say that. But I will say we are, until today, suffering from the unity that he did. Now let's get into it. There's a saying, "Hachaim v'hametim beyad halashon." Life and death depends on the mouth of a human being. You know, some people think they can say whatever they want, they can do whatever they want. They use their mouth like a toilet. Or even the way you act with your friends. It doesn't make a difference in which party you are, if you're female, if you're male, or if you're labeled in any other gender. It doesn't make a difference. The way you associate yourself, the way you speak, the way you talk is a big representation of who you are. Huge. There was a story. When I heard this story, I had goosebumps. There was this man, this Bachur Yeshiva, Eretz Yisrael, the way the shidduch life over there, the way they go out on dates is totally different than in America. Even in the religious world. You know how they do it? I'll explain to you. They go to a shadchan, they go to a matchmaker, and the matchmaker finds them a match. And where do they go on a date? They go to the lobby of a hotel. Lobby of a hotel. And they go and they sit in the lobby of the hotel for as long as they need to get to know each other. They buy themselves a cup of coffee, a cup of water, and something like that, and they speak. After the first date, they call that a date. After the first date, what happens? The shadchan gets a phone call. Yes, no, continue. And they do this for 2, 3, 4, 5 times. It depends, each one's a bit different, but not more than 5, 6 times. And they close the date to get married. Right? Now some of you are over here thinking that this is crazy. What's going on over here? This is the proper way to do it, but that's beside the point. It is. There's no need to go on a date for the first time you meet her to some lavish restaurant, and she's nervous and she's sweating over there, and he's nervous, and they don't eat anything. What was the point? Who are you showing off to? Well, Lamaisa, what are you doing? You want to show off the Benz? You want to show the watch? Or like, Tachles, let's get down to the inyan. What are you doing? You guys are both nervous. You guys are not thinking straight. But whatever, this is the minhag we adapted from the Goyim, which I hope one day will be destroyed. So there was this Bachur Yeshiva that went on a shidduch, and he saw the girl, and automatically he said to himself, "Ani lo motze chen." I don't find anything. Nothing there. And throughout the shidduch, throughout this date, you can call it, he basically made her feel very bad. He was ignoring her, he was not answering her, he was saying funny things to her. And she got the impression like he's making a joke out of me. And she got up and she left. Right away, he got excited, he got happy, she left, that's it. It's all over. He also left. He calls the shadchan the next day. He said, "Listen, not gonna work out. She's not for me." Okay. Now, a Bachur Yeshiva, he was very picky. Why? Because he was also, he was a learned boy. He knew a lot of Torah. He wasn't one of those guys that used to waste time in yeshiva, but he was lacking a lot of their hearts. A couple of weeks go by, he's going out with another girl, go to a buffet, they get engaged, poof. A week before the wedding, cancel. Now, someone that was ever engaged, or not even, someone that was even on the verge of getting engaged and it gets canceled, it's one of the worst feelings on earth. Ask a guy that's going out with a girl for like 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 months, let's say even a year, and he really likes her or she really likes him, and they break up, what happens? It's like the whole world is falling apart. They're going crazy. Imagine being engaged and having the wedding to happen in a week. Cancellation. Now you gotta move. What's going on over here? Okay, didn't work out. And like this, it happened to him 3 times. Habibi, 3 times being engaged, cancellation. Right away, what did he do? He said, "I'm going to Bnei Brak." Who did he go to? To the stipler. Rav Chaim Kanievsky's father. He goes to him, he writes his name. He goes to the rabbi, puts it on the rabbi's table. The rabbi looks at it. He looks at him. He said, "Tzeh achutza. Get out. Get out of my house." He said, "You're a rasha. You're a wicked man. Get out." Now to hear that from the Gadol Ador is not, it's not a joke. It's not like you're hearing it from your next door neighbor. You're hearing it from the ruler and the head of the Jewish people at that time. And he was shocked. He said, maybe the rabbi made a mistake. He came back the next day, same thing. The rabbi said, "Tzeh achutza, I don't want to see your face. Get out. You're a rasha, you're a wicked man." 2, 3 months pass, he can't think about it, he's not himself. So what does he do? He tells one of his friends, "Listen, I'm not gonna go in, I'm going to give you my name. When you go to him, give him my name too and ask him for a shidduch. So his friend goes, he gets a bracha, and suddenly his friend goes and gives him his friend. He said, listen, my friend couldn't make it. He looks at the name. He says, him I can't give a blessing to. He's a rasha. He's a wicked man. And he told this to his friend, and that's it. He went crazy. He said, what did I do? Months passed. Years passed. 3 years passed, and this guy can't stop thinking about it. And he said, I'm going to go back one more time. He goes with a Baal Tshuva friend, and he says, I'm not going to go in, because if he's going to see me, he's going to recognize me. You know what? I'm just going to give him my name. He gives it to his friend. He gives it to the stapler. The stapler sees and says, I can't bless this guy. Again, he came back. I told him never to come back. This guy sits down on the staircase and he starts to cry. He was crying. He said, what did I do to get such a klala, such a curse from the Gadol Ador? What did I do? So one of the Gabayim came out, one of the helpers of the rabbi, and started speaking to him. He said, think, what did you do in your life that you have such a pain? What did you do? And he was sitting and he was thinking. And he said, can it be? I went out with a girl once and I wasn't acting properly. He didn't do really anything wrong. If you look at it, to get such a punishment, he ignored her. He was a bit rude, right? Okay, it's a bad thing. Don't get me wrong. That's a very bad thing to do. But to get such a punishment, to have 3 engagements cancel, 3 weddings cancel. So the guy says, call the Shadchan and find her number and apologize. He right away calls his old Shadchan. He says, listen to me, there was a girl one time I went out with, I need her number. He gets the number, he calls her, and she right away recognized the voice. You know, when you hurt someone's feeling, you can see the person that hurt you from a mile away. You can be blind, but that person you can see. That person, you hear their voice, you get goosebumps. Power of trauma. And she says, why are you calling? To ruin my life again? And he starts crying. He says, I'm sorry. The way I acted was not nice. I was young. I was stupid. I was unconsiderate. Please forgive me. And she's listening to all this, and she's also crying. And she said, listen, I'm not going to have someone's pain on my shoulder. I forgive you, Belev Shalem. I forgive you. The guy said, the second she said that, I felt a whole load come off my back. She said, thank you, and that's it. A week later, this guy was invited to help out in a big Shabbaton, Arachim Shabbaton, for Bali Tshuva. And he went, he was helping out, and one guy over there at the end of Shabbaton said, listen, you're a nice guy. I have a good shidduch for you. It wasn't that same girl, different shidduch. He went out with her. Suddenly it's getting serious. And they want to talk about getting engaged and getting married. And he said, stop. I'm not getting married for yet. I have to first go to who? I have to go back to the stapler. I have to know if something's really wrong with me or not. I don't have the koach to get engaged again and to have it mevatel, have it broken. He goes to the stapler this time and he writes his name and he's scared. He gives it to the gabbai. The rabbi looks at it and says, call him in. He called him in and he blessed him. He said, you should be blessed. He said the whole Yivarechecha. And he said, because you were mitgaber on your Yetzara and you went and you asked for forgiveness. And the guy after prepared for the wedding and he got married. Rabbi said, why did I tell you this story? You know, people think they can hurt people's feelings and it's unconditional. But I said a joke. So what? I told him not come on in front of everybody. So what? I called him, you're a son of a gun. So what? I say this stuff. So what? What did I do wrong? You just killed the guy. That's what you did. And likewise with the girls. God knows how you guys call names to each other. And we don't think that it offends someone, but in reality it does offend. It hurts. A person that doesn't know how to watch his mouth, Ya Habibi, come on. That's the only thing that makes us different than animal. A human is only a human because he knows he has a mouth, he can speak. And a Jew, a Yehudi, is different than a Goy. Why? Because we think before we speak. We go through a cleansing process in our brain, at least we should. At least we have the koach to do it. And this is where it comes to this week's parasha. Avraham Avinu goes to a town called Gerar. And in this town in Gerar, it was in the land of the Pelishtim. Now I want to clarify something. The Palestinians we have these days are not blood related to the Pelishtim in the time of the biblical Torah. And how do I know this? The Torah brings down, Rashi brings down that the Pelishtim were blonde hair, blue eyes. I don't think if you go to Gaza today, you're going to see anyone. Maybe you will because of intermarrying, but majority of them are not blonde hair, white skin, blue eyes running around. That's more like Germantown if you go back to Germany. Do you understand? So it's two different things. But I got to give it to you. I have to say the truth. The land that they occupy now, that they're living in now, is the same Pelishtim. Also. Let's get at least it has the same name. Geographical, I have to check. Let's get back into the Chumash. So Avraham Avinu decides that he's going to go to this land of Avimelech, and Avimelech, the king Avimelech, is there. And again, the whole story goes all over again. What's the story? They see a beautiful woman, and they said, "Who is she?" And he says, "This is my sister." And they take her. We're talking about Sarah was in her 90s over here. Ya Habibi. Do you fathom what I'm saying to you? Imagine looking at a 90-year-old lady and thinking that she's in her 20s. That's how beautiful Sarah Imenu is. And Avimelech takes her. He takes her. And we're going to talk with Derech Tzniut because we're talking about Sarah Imenu, our grandmother. And he wants to live with her. And he goes to sleep that night and he has a prophecy. Listen to what I'm telling to you. An angel didn't come to him. God himself, B'chvodo V'atzmo, came to Avimelech and said, "Ya Habibi, you took a married woman. And now you're going to get punished. You touched a married woman. Or you wanted to touch. He didn't touch her. Now you're going to get it." And Avimelech woke up and suddenly he started to feel pain. Pain! There's a machloket. What was the pain? That he couldn't use the bathroom, or every time he tried using the bathroom, there were, sorry, but this is what the Mizar says, there was mice going up their tuchas in the land of Pelishtim. Would eat all of their intestines. And it would be very painful. Until Avimelech calls who? Avraham Avinu. He says, "Pray." "How come you didn't tell me this is your wife?" What does Avraham Avinu say? For you to kill me? You're gonna kill me. Then you're gonna take my wife. So what did Avraham Avinu first of all do? He first of all prayed for what? The Refuah Shlema of everyone in that town. I want you to understand something. Until today, we didn't see anywhere in the Torah that Avraham Avinu prayed for Sarah to get pregnant. It's not written anywhere. This parasha is the first time that Avraham Avinu prayed that what? Everyone's stomach and womb should be fixed, including his wife. How the koch of tefillah, there's a story of the Baal Shem Tov. The Baal Shem Tov has a beautiful story. He has many stories. So one of the stories, he was traveling from town to town. That was his thing. He liked to travel and to help people. He didn't stay in one place and let everyone come to him. He would go out to the people. And the Baal Shem Tov one time went to a town And a very poor town. And his students were very surprised. Why are we going to this town? Like, there's no one here. There's like very few. There's no Jewish life here, really. There was a Jew there. And this Jew, you walk in, huge house, Armon. It's like walking to a castle. And the Talmidim of the Baal Shem Tov says, what are we doing here? Like, out of all people, you never go to rich people's houses. You always go to the poor people's houses. And the Baal Shem Tov says, I have to tell you a story. This man had to be very rich. The problem was he never prayed to be rich until this happened. One day, this guy, let's call him Shlomo, came home, like most European people that lived 300 years ago, was very happy that tomorrow they have a slice of bread, a piece of butter. They were happy with that. That was their norm of life. They didn't have like lavish like what we have. They were happy with a piece of bread and butter. One day, the Baal Shem Tov, years back, he's rewinding the story, decides to visit this man's house. And when he came into the house, he asked for this poor man to bring out all the food that he had. And this poor man only had enough for him and his kids for the next day. But the Baal Shem Tov came and he said, how can I not listen to the rabbi? And he brought out his own food. Everything he brought out. The Baal Shem Tov didn't leave until he finished everything. Like most Hasidic people, when they drink, they always leave a little bit. I don't know why. It's like their thing. They leave a little bit. I grew up, if you leave a little bit, that means you want another shot. But the Ashkenazim, they always leave a little bit. Okay. Baal Shem Tov gets up and leaves. Suddenly, this Jew, he has a next door neighbor, Goy, knocks on his door. He said, listen, Shloimele, get some vodka? My wife spilled everything out. Shlomo looked at him. He said, I don't know. This man takes out a gold coin. He said, Ya Habibi, you want it? Or you don't want it? He said, don't worry, I'll find you vodka. You give me the coin, I'll find you whatever you want. Right away, he goes to the leftovers of the table. He pours everyone's leftovers. He goes to the kitchen. There's a bucket of water. He puts some water. For a drunk, it doesn't make a difference. As long as they think it's alcohol, it goes well. He gives it to the guy. The guy drinks it. He says, yeah, the best. Yeah, habibi. He takes the coin for you. And he leaves. This Shlomo that looks at the coin, and he remembered that before this guy walked in, he was crying, saying, what am I going to feed my kids tomorrow? I have no food. Hashem, please give me good parnasa. And like this, 1 day, 2 day, 3 day, until Shlomo had the guts to ask this guy, where are you finding these golden coins? You're finding the coin. Why don't you just go buy your own bottle? Like, you're coming to me for nothing. And the guy says, I have so much. I was digging in my backyard. I found a whole bunch of gold coins. So every day that I need, I come to you. I give you a gold coin. You give me a cup of vodka. The next day, the guy died. Shlomo went and bought his house. Now, who has all the gold? This Jew. The Baal Shem Tov says, this Shlomo, the reason why I went to his house years ago, because he never davened to have money. Because he thought it was normal to be poor. The fact that I had to go out of my way to make him daven for it, that's why he became wealthy. Sometimes we think, whatever will be. We don't think we have to daven to become closer to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. We don't think we have to daven to be successful today in business, to get more cuts, to find good connections, to do well in school, to go to a good seminary eventually, or a good college and start your life and get a good spouse. We think it's just going to happen. Someone's going to set me up, Rabbi. Don't worry, it's the way it works. No. If you don't daven for everything specifically, you'll never get anywhere. You just won't get anywhere. And what happened over here? Avram Avinu, for the first time that it's mentioned, that he actually davened. Unbelievable. Okay. Avimelech gives Avram Avinu Sarah Imenu. Sarah has a baby boy. And now Avram Avinu wants to leave. Now here's the catch. When Avram Avinu leaves, Avimelech goes to Avraham and says, I want to make a treaty with you. Can we read it to you in the Pasuk? Ve'ata, Perek Chaf Aleph, Pasuk Chaf Gimel. Ve'ata, and now. It's with an ayin, not with an aleph, so it's and now, and not and you. Ve'ata, and now, Hishavali, swear to me. Be'elokim, through God. Hine im tishkor li ulnini ulnechti, swear to me, to my kids, and to my grandkids. 3 generations. The kindness that I did to you, you're going to do to me. I let you live here. Make sure we should always be peaceful. I should always live in this land. I should always live here. Wherever you dwelled, I should always dwell here. It should be my land forever. The Gemara in Masachet Sanhedrin, Daf Samach Hey says as follows: a Jew should never become a partner with a goy. Never. Never should have a partner that's a goy. Why? The Jew is going to get up one day, and the goy is going to get up one day. They're going to get into an argument. And the goy is going to say, I'm going to swear. And what does he say? I swear on my God, whoever it is. Yoshka, Poshka, all these other people. You know what you just did? You just made him do Avodah Zarah. You caused him to sin! Avram Avinu, you know what you did? You were the one that was fighting for what? No Avodah Zarah, we believe in one God. How did you make a treaty with him? You just made him swear on his Avodah Zarah. How did you do that? It's not my question. Hatzror HaMaor asks this question. Avram Avinu, what did you do? Because of you know what's going to happen? You know how much pain the Jews are going through because of that swear that you promised. What did you promise? That he's going to forever be on this land? Until today, ya habibi. Until today, you ask yourself, how come these Tmeim, these Ovdei Avodah Zarah live there? You want to know why? Because Avram Avinu made a treaty and it came out of his mouth. To the extent that in Sefer Shemot, in Parashat Beshalach, what does it say? You know, the Midrash Rabbah says as follows, David HaMelech says in the Tehillim, why do you, Hashem, gift the wicked such lengthy lives, and to us, very short lives, the righteous? Why did David HaMelech say that? In the Torah, if we look at it, what does it say when the Jews left Egypt? And they didn't go through Eretz Pelishtim. They could have went through the Pelishtim land. Instead, they didn't go. You want to know why? Because Avram Avinu, it's okay. Avram Avinu made a treaty with them that what? We will never do problems. Rashi, the Mefarshim asked on the spot, what was the problem? The grandson of Avimelech was the king at that time. By the Jews, it was 7 generations. Abraham passed away. Yitzchak passed away. Yaakov passed away. Levi passed away. Kehat passed away. Amram passed away. It was Moshe Rabbeinu, 7 generation. And by Avimelech, it was just the 3rd generation. You're not allowed to go through the Pelishtim. Because Avraham Avinu made a treaty with them, and you might go against the treaty. How a person has to be zahir with his mouth. His mouth is the most important thing in your whole body, your mouth. As you go into this part of the parasha, you have to ask yourself a simple question. You know, the Rashbam says something very beautiful. He said when Avraham Avinu did this, he caused that his kids and his grandkids and his great-grandkids, which is us today, have to fight and suffer just because of this. You're going to go into business tomorrow, tonight, whatever you do, remember that one wrong word you can say can make it or break it for you for the rest of your life. One wrong word to a parent, besides your mitzvot of kibud av va'em, you can make it or break it for your own life. Your own life. When you say something wrong, you only hurt yourself. When you hurt someone, I'll tell you a personal story that happened to me. I went to buy, I'm not going to say what I went to buy because then you're going to know. I went to buy something for my house, and the owner, one of the owners of the store, I know them. And out of nowhere, he started to open up to me. And it was very strange to me. It was right next to my wife. My kids were there. And he had a very, not everyone in high school has it easy. Some kids really have it hard. He was one of the kids that had it hard. And he was opening up to me how people were hurting him, this, that. And I personally don't remember I did anything to him. I don't, until today, I'm just trying to remember. And when I went back to pay this person for the job that he did, I took him aside. I said, please tell me, what did I do to you? Because I didn't have a normal week because of this. He didn't tell me what I did, but he said, you also hurt me. And it bothered me that something in my youth, when I was a teenager, until this man is 20-something years old. He's 26, 27 years old. How I hurt his feelings. And he didn't forget about it. After 10 years, it's still in him. And it bothered me. How for one wrong word, one wrong action, one wrong teasing that you do, how can it affect another human being? You may not see how this applies to you today, so severe. Wait till you guys get married, B'ezrat Hashem, very soon. One wrong thing you can say to your spouse can make a forest fire. Over what? For something that you didn't even mean, or you didn't understand what you were saying? Or the other way around? Your tongue is very important. To the extent that Avraham Avinu, until today, we're going through this. And we're going to fix it. And we are fixing it. We're fixing it. And soon Mashiach Tzidkenu is going to come and this treaty is going to be done with. Until the extent that the Rashbam says that when this happened, Hashem tested Avraham Avinu. What happened? Avraham Avinu, how did he come to slaughter his son? Boys, I want you to understand something. He waited 100 years for this boy. 100 years. After 37 years, he told him, go slaughter your son. Can you fathom such a thing? I want you to contemplate on this. Imagine working for something all your life, and now that you achieve it, I tell you to take it and start from the beginning. That was Avraham Avinu. He was put on the last breath of his life in order to see what? Is he going to sacrifice for me all the way? Or he's not going to sacrifice for me all the way? The Yalkut Ma'amloah says that Avraham Avinu did not like how they have it in the pictures. He was holding the knife and the angel stopped him. No. The Yalkut Ma'amloah says he's cut his windpipe. He was in the middle of cutting his son! Yeah, Habibi, he already cut. He cut. That in the middle, he was cutting. And the angel said, stop, Abraham. Everyone can hold a knife until it gets to here. The question is, can you stop? Can you do it? Can you do it when you cut? That's the question. And Abraham Avinu proved himself. And right after this story, Abraham Avinu is barely mentioned. One more time, that's it. Now, how does the parasha end? The parasha ends with an amazing... Who gets born? Rivka. Why? Why does Rivka get born now? Why does the Torah want to tell me this? The Torah is trying to say, until you're not going to do Misrut Nefesh, if you're not going to give yourself up, Yitzhak Avinu was also big an avodah for him. What is it? Well, we read this every day in Shacharit. Yitzhak Avinu said, what? Tie me up, Father. He said, I'm scared I'm going to move. If I'm going to move, I'm going to be a not kosher sacrifice. Because if the animal moves, the sacrifice is not good. Because he might put pressure on the knife, and you're not allowed to put pressure on the knife. So he said, tie me up! Yitzhak Avinu, you had Misrut Nefesh? You gave up for yourself? No problem. Your soulmate's going to be born today. And Rivka was born. Don't expect good things to just happen. How much are you willing to sacrifice for yourself? I'm going to yeshiva. When? After I finish moving. What? Where does it say that? How much Bitul Torah are you doing instead? How much? How much Shtuyot? I had a friend when I was in high school. Listen to me, I was in 9th grade, he was in 12th grade. This guy got accepted to the yeshiva of Philly, Rabbi Isai. This is one of one of the best yeshivas in America. He was a Gorski Jew. Rabbi Isai, that summer he stayed in the city. He went to one wedding and his family members teased him and he started dancing. The guy knew the whole Seder Nashim by heart. I'm talking about 7 different Masechtot, the hardest ones, Kiddushin, Gittin, Yivamos, Soita is inside, Nazir is there, I think even. Rabbi said, do you know what he did? In 1 second, he threw it all away. Why? That last Misrut Nefesh. How about us? Why are we being shlomazels? Why are we doing nothing all day? Do something. Be productive. If you're not getting married or going to work in order to get married, get out of here. Go learn Torah. Go learn Torah. Ki hem hayenu ve'orech yameinu. Rabbi say, I guarantee it to you, a woman rather be satisfied emotionally than monetarily. If you're not going to learn Torah, you will never know how to act properly in your house. Learning Torah doesn't just mean learning Gemara, learning Musar, learning Hashkafa, learning how to change your midot. If you're not doing anything, hire someone. There are many spics out there, you can pay them. Let them get the job done. Get up and leave. Leave. Go learn Torah. Don't waste time. If you're in school, take your school serious. And likewise over here too. If you don't know what your standards and how you want to pick yourself up in order to be a better Jew, in order to serve HaKadosh Baruch Hu, which is the ultimate goal of our life, is to be an Eved Hashem, a true Eved, which surpasses being even a son, which we'll talk about in a different time. There's Eved Pashut, I'm forced to serve God. There's a Ben, someone that serves God because he feels, it's like my father. And then there's an Eved. What's that? That's someone that knows Hashem is my father, but yet I want to serve him like a slave. That's the highest level. That's the highest level. If you're doing nothing, don't waste time. Every second that passes and you're not learning Torah, every second that passes and you're wasting time, you're going to have to answer for that. This week's parasha. Yitzchak Avinu didn't wait. The second he did Misirut Nefesh, Hashem gifted him with who? With a wife. Why are you wasting your time? Why are you guys not getting married? Rabbi, I'm young, Rabbi. So I have to make so much money. You have to be a billionaire for it. Okay, be a billionaire. Now what? Wrong. This is derech. This is a satan. This is Yetzirah. You want to know why it's Yetzirah? I'll tell you why. If you are hustling and actually working and not sleeping and not wasting time and not going out with friends and not smoking and not doing any of this stuff and working 24/7, I might understand that. I don't, but I might. But if you're saying you want to be a billionaire and you wake up at 10 o'clock and you have to find a minyan that's half even allowed to daven there, you miss Zman Kriyat Shema. And then you go to work after you have a nice breakfast. How can I go to work without being comfortable? You're never going to be a billionaire. Never. Not a chance. To the extent I'm going to tell you that if you get even an inheritance of a billionaire, you're going to lose it all within a year. Because people like that never succeed. Success doesn't come with comfortability. The exact opposite. If you think you're just going to be comfortable and live life like this, you're never going to get anywhere. Misirut Nefesh. That's what you need. You have to do it. It's hard. The first step is the hardest. But once you jump, you don't feel it already. You're just there. Torah is the greatest pleasure in the world. Understand? Does anyone have any questions? Okay. Rabbi, it was a pleasure. And until next Tuesday.